Good morning everyone, my name is Audrey. I am Stitchy Witch 42. Today is Monday, the 12th of September 2022, and I have been making Flosstube videos now for 5 years. September is my Flosstube anniversary month, and it's also the first time I've hit 3,000 subscribers. So I want to say thank you to everyone for visiting with me on my channel, for liking, for subscribing, for commenting. I don't say it enough. I don't remember to say it, and that's my bad. But thank you. Thank you very much for liking, for subscribing, for putting up with me for 5 years, because that's a lot. The other thing that I want to say thank you to everyone for is all the comments on my last video about my health issues. Let you know right away, the news was good. But there's a story. There's always a story. I hadn't planned on doing a video that morning, but my appointment wasn't until 1:15 in the afternoon, and when I got up, I started getting the butterflies in the stomach. So I thought, what can I do to distract myself? I know! I'll do a video. So I did. I recorded the video. I edited the video. I'm sitting in the kitchen at my laptop working on editing. I look in my calendar to verify what time my appointment with the doctor was, realize I still had a little bit over an hour left, and I think to myself, okay, I went and saw him at his office in Kaiser. That's about a 20-25 minute drive. If I leave at this time, I can get there, blah, da, da. Took off a little bit earlier, got stuck in road construction traffic, got to his office like 4 minutes till the appointment. Went in, waited my return at the reception desk, and the receptionist goes, well, I see your appointment's on the books, but it's in Silverton. Crap. So I got the number from him for the Silverton office, called it. It was the wrong number. They gave me a new number, called it. They connected me with the office. I told them what had happened, and she goes, let me go check and see. And she comes back and she goes, yes, the doctor wants you to come in, which, you know, my heart was feeling like, oh my God, if the doctor wants me to come in, it's going to be bad. It wasn't. It was good. But as I said on some of my comments, I broomsticked it back from Kaiser to Silverton. I think it took maybe 18 minutes instead of the 25. But the results were good, and I am glad that that is over and done with. So thank you again for all the support that you have shown me through the years. I appreciate you so, so very much. So we all know that last Thursday, Queen Elizabeth II passed away. And I have to tell you, that was a really tough deal for me, because for anybody who is my age or younger, she has always been the Queen. And I was born in England, so when I was little, when I was old enough to realize that I was not born in the United States, I was born in England, I used to imagine that I was part of the royal family. But I had been whisked away stateside for my protection. I was Princess Audrey. There's no truth to that childhood fantasy. But she's always been my queen, and I have followed what has happened with the royal family my entire life, because I admire them, because I'm fascinated, because I can't even imagine what it's like to live your entire life in service to your country. And that's what this woman did. She lived a remarkable life. She started training to be queen when she hadn't been born to be queen. She started training from the age of 10 to be queen. And she learned from her father, and when she became a queen at such a young age, she learned from Churchill. And so many that followed him. She has lived through so many pivotal moments in the last 96 years. And she's always done it with the attitude of being of service to her country. So, for me, it was an incredibly sad day. I'm sure it was for a lot of people. Rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth. Anyway, this is my channel about cross-stitch life, the universe, and everything. My footstool next to me, I've just been piling stuff up on it, and I'm going to post a picture somewhere of the pile on my footstool. It seems to be growing. I have some new projects. I have a finish. I have some purchases. I have random stuff to babble about, because that's what I do. Okay? So, we're going to start off. On my last video, on my last Flosstube update, I did post a short little 2.5 minute Jeep video that Mark and I took. Okay, story about the Jeep video. I know it's not cross-stitch. I know some of you are gnashing your teeth. This is me, and I do what I want to do because it's my channel. Sorry. Not sorry. Mark had come across this place driving around for work that is a turtle pond. He wanted to take me there as one of our Jeep adventures. So he planned the day. We were going to go to some wineries for me to do some wine tasting. I only had 2 glasses all day long. So, there you go. But we drove along and we were having fun, and I'm taking pictures with my Canon camera, trying to take pictures with my Canon camera, I should say. I know how to turn this camera on to record for a video, but for some reason or another, I couldn't get it to turn on just to take a picture. So there's all these clips on my little card of the camera pointed at my feet or at the dashboard of the Jeep, trying to figure out how to make it take a stupid picture. Anyway, I'm using this camera and I'm trying to record parts of the video, and one of the things that happened on our trip that I wish I would have gotten it was the vultures. We went over the Wheatland Ferry. We had gotten just a little bit away from it, and I noticed a large bird flying up in the air. And as it turned, I could see the red head, so okay, it's a vulture. We came up over this hill, and down below the hill was the roadside buffet and several vultures down there partaking of the roadside buffet. There was one vulture that was coming down trying to land, and it was directly in front of our Jeep. And apparently it realized that this blue thing was coming at it, so now it's trying to gain altitude to fly out of our way some of the vultures that were participating in the buffet fly up and come back around. So here is Mark weaving down the road, trying to avoid hitting the Jeep with a vulture. And the whole time I'm thinking, why don't I have the camera on? Because it was different. Anyway, we got up to the pond, and if you've watched that little 2.5-minute video of mine, thank you. If you haven't, please go over and take a look, because it's rather a unique little pond. It's got a little platform there that you can go out and observe what's happening in the pond. It's at Reed Ecology, the school where they study ecology. There is a sign there that tells you the seasons of turtle life and what they do. And apparently, they adhere to that schedule religiously. Because according to this calendar, it said from September to December, they are under the water, eating as much as they can, preparing to hibernate. We were there September 4th, and there was no turtles to be seen. But if you watched that video, you saw a platform with turtles on it. That was the picture Mark took back in May when he first saw them. We're going to go back again next year, and hopefully I'll get to see the turtles live, because turtles, you know, why not? Anyway, last regular Flosstube video, I did a giveaway for Pumpkin Row by Erica Michaels. I stitched it, and I made it into a little drum, following my own... I mean, yes, I watched Vonna's drum tutorial. I kind of did my own thing because this is a weird size. Like I said, I used bottles and cans from the pantry to figure out how big to make the circle, and watch the last video. I also made some counting pins on the top there. This one here, which I think is really, really cute, is a glass pumpkin pin. And it has so much Gorilla Glue on it that it's frosty looking. Gorilla Glue. Yeah. So anyway, I was doing a giveaway for the pattern. And I did my random generator. It's not my random generator. Words. Always words. I used the random YouTube comment generator, and Christy Donne is the winner of Pumpkin Row. So Christy, congratulations. And please send me an email or message me on Instagram with your address, and I will get that out in the mail to you, and thank you so very much. All right. The pile. The pile. So, September is, what are they calling it? September Sampler Soiree. I don't sampler. And I definitely don't soiree. But Anna said it was also New Start September, something like that. I thought, what the heck? I started 3 things, all on the same day. I know. Who am I? One of them is a pattern that I am doing for my neighbor. Oh, let me see if I can figure out who I got it from. Nope, it's not in recent notes. I saw somebody show this pattern on their video, and I thought, I could do that. I could do that. My neighbors like to go camping. They started out with a small canvas camper, which they called their Canvas Palace. They replaced it with a little bit larger trailer, And then now they have this great big motorhome. So when I saw this pattern, I thought, this is perfect for them. And I think it was last year, it may have been the year before, that I had also done one with a camper for them. But this is the pattern that I'm talking about. It's a Sue Hillis Designs. It's called High Tides and Good Vibes. So you see that part with the camper there? I thought that would be perfect to do. She also likes flamingos, so everything about this pattern would be perfect for my neighbor. I don't like the words. I don't care for the penguins. So I am going to adapt this to just have the camper and the sand and the waves. And I've actually got quite a bit done on this, and I'm really, really tickled with my progress on this. So, hold on. Trying to move things around here so I can get to my journal. Okay, this is where I'm at on High Tides and Good Vibes. I am stitching this on a 14 count Aida Enchanted fabric by Stephanie. And I did a lot of stitching on this yesterday. The top part of the camper here is 2 shades of white, 3865 and white. And so I was doing all of that yesterday, and I don't know whether that had anything to do with it, but I woke up this morning and my right hand hurts so bad. I tried to brush my teeth this morning using my right hand because I'm right-handed, and I couldn't grab my toothbrush. So I had to brush my teeth with my left hand. You should try that sometime. Brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand. It's awkward and it's not easy to do. I don't know what I did to my hand, but I can't grab anything. Whatever. So this is where I'm at with High Tides and Good Vibes. Like I said, I'm going to do the sand and the waves over here, and then I'm going to bring the sand off to the side here. Similar to what is on the pattern, I'm just going to skip the flamingos and the words. But I'm going to try to make it equal distance off on this side as it is on this side. So that is a new start, and I've made good progress on it. I started it on the 2nd. All right. I have the notes. Okay. Where'd my stuff go? Oh, it's behind my Mocha. I had so much stuff piled on the chair that I had to start piling things behind the Mocha. Excuse me. There. Alrighty then. Thursday the 1st was First Thursday up at Acorns and Threads. I went up there and visited with Anna and Cheryl, and Anita from Sparkle Stitchers was there with her sister Monica. And then a lot of the regular ladies that have been coming to First Thursdays, and some new faces too. There was probably oh, I would say at least 20 people that were there. And of course, when you're up at First Thursday, you have to do some retail therapy. You just do. And I know that there's this supposed rule that goes around Flosstube that when you buy something, you can't use it until you've shared it. I'm here to break the rules. Because I bought something and I started stitching it. It is a Scarlett House pattern called Sew Witch. And she is very pretty, if I do say so myself. But since I'm Stitchy Witch, I figured Sew Witch, Stitchy Witch. So, I also started this one on the 2nd. This is being stitched on a 32 count Vintage Country Mocha lugana. And that's my huge start. I stitched some X's and I have the top of a witch's hat. I didn't want to get too into this one because this one is for me, because I have an exchange that I'm doing with a friend and I have some stitching that I need to do for her. And then of course I started this other piece that I'm stitching for my neighbor. So it's like, I can't get too involved in this one because this is really a cute pattern. So there are spools in each four corner, there's a tomato there, and there's buttons on here. The pattern shows you, the pattern is designed so you can stitch the buttons if you want to stitch the buttons, otherwise you could just put real buttons on there. And the pattern is also designed so that you can stitch the thread on the bobbins. I'm thinking I'm going to do a satin stitch when I get around to doing that. But I just think this is really, really adorable. The pattern is from 2017, the Scarlett House. So that was my second new start on September 2nd. I'm telling you, the pile. Okay, I have a finish. I've commented many times that when I'm doing videos, I seem to have an issue with words. And when I was sharing this project that I was working on last time, I was telling you about the Terry Prachett audiobooks that I'm listening to. They are part of the Discworld series, and these are the ones that have the three witches in it. Granny Weatherwax, Nanny Og, and Margaret Garlic. And when I referred to this witch, I said that she was Nanny Og. No, I'm trying to make this witch look like Granny Weatherwax. So this is my finish. This is, get the journal out, it's right here. Ready for the Party. It's in just cross stitch. Was it this year's or last year's? I don't know. I don't know. I didn't write that down. But this is my interpretation of it. Now, the changes that I made on this is, one, her dress is supposed to be very colorful and use the same oranges in it and make it bright and lively. Granny Weatherwax thinks that witches should be wearing black. So I stitched everything on her except for her skin in black. Underneath the carriage here, this part of the frame was supposed to be stitched in white, and I didn't like the way that looked, so I stitched it in black, because black is a wonderful color. But my idea is to make this little piece into a pin pillow. And in the stories, Granny Weatherwax has hat pins in her hat not only to hold them into her hair, but because she uses them. I've got the teeny tiny little stainless steel pins that you can use for framing. And my idea is up here in her hat, I am going to incorporate 3 of those in there so that this little witch is Granny Weatherwax. This is stitched on a 16 count Banshee by Bestitchme. I love how this turned out. This is my finish. Maybe I'll get around to completely finishing it this week. I've watched a couple of Helen D's tutorials on pillow finishing. I've finished pillows many times, but it's always a good thing to refresh your memory on how to do things, and she always gives good hints. So between her and Vonna and everybody else who does tutorials, thank you. Alrighty. My last new start. When I was at Acorns and Threads, I was looking for orange fabric, and they didn't have any. So I came home and I found that I had some orange fabric. It's 16 count Eek, I think it is, by Picture This Plus, which is a paler color of orange than is shown in the pattern. But again, this is a pattern from the 2021 Just Cross Stitch Special. So is the party one, because they're both out of the same magazine. But this one right here, Nightmare Before Coffee. When I stitched my pumpkin spice in the little tray here, I thought it would be kind of fun to put together some coffee, tea themed pieces, and I saw this pattern and Nightmare Before Christmas, you know, good movie, but I thought that would be a cute little pattern to do. So I got a start on it. And there you are. Now, I've had some issues with this one. I have issues with everything I stitch. I had started with the wisp of steam coming up here, and then I decided that I was going to come down and I was going to do this part of the cup, and I realized that I had miscounted between the steam and the cup, so I had to unpick all the steam that was finished there to make it work out properly. But this is a fun little stitch. I'm enjoying it. I think I'm going to like it on this fabric because there's enough coloration on the Eek. It's a lighter orange than I would have liked to have used, but oh well. Personalized. It's personalized. So, those are my 3 new starts and my 1 finish since the last time I did a video. I received some happy mail. This came from Pam, and she sent a beautiful card. She also sent me some things that she made herself. This is a hand crocheted washcloth, a hand crocheted cozy to set your coffee mat, and then she sent a hand crocheted soap bag with a bar of soap in it. And I just thought that these were, see, the sweetest things. So thank you so much, Pam, for thinking of me, for sending me some of your handcrafted projects. I love it, and I thank you very, very much. Besides the retail therapy that I did at Acorns and Threads, I did some other purchasing. And I received this one that was packaged very nicely. I love the tissue paper that it's in. I'm sure I will end up using that in a journal. This is exciting because I don't remember what's in here. Oh yes, this is the madness that Anna made me do. She showed this on her video. And I stopped and I went and I found the creator and I purchased this, and I don't have a clue how to do it. So she will be teaching me because I bought this because of Anna. On Instagram there is a woman, she goes by the handle The Raspberry Rabbits. This is an embroidery kit to make this gorgeous, gorgeous pumpkin. And since I want to do more fall projects, I purchased this. It comes with an envelope that you can put it in so you could use this as a card. It comes with everything that you need. All the flosses. It comes with the pattern. And an extra sheet of something. I'm not sure what it is. It might be an interfacing. I don't know. But it's stamped on. I just have to figure out how to embroider it. So Anna, I need a session because I do not know how to do this. It also comes with a little heart that has 2 needles on there, so I will be using all of those. The colors of these flosses are gorgeous, but I have never done embroidery. So this will be a whole new ball game for me. Let me see if I can get it back in the envelope right. And the package was lovely. The whole, like I showed you, the whole package showed up. It was packaged, it arrived quickly, it was packaged very nice. That's what it looked like inside the envelope when I first opened it up. So go check out the Raspberry Rabbits on Instagram and see what else she has to offer in her shop. Alright. Then I ordered from Stacy Stitches Creative Studios. And I received another nicely wrapped package here. And again, I'm like, what did I order? I don't know. I know I have something coming from Acorns and Threads, and I don't know what that is either. Because, oh, yes, yes. This is 13 Spooky Smalls by Lindsay Waite and Katie Rogers. A collection of spooky stitches by Primrose Cottage Stitches. What is not to love about this? Oh my gosh. And there's more on the back. Wicked Without Coffee will go nicely with this theme that I apparently have decided I need to do. There is another one. But I love this book because the patterns in it, they're all smalls. They're all oh my gosh. Who hasn't watched Hocus Pocus? Who is not going to recognize the mop, the vacuum, and the broom? Yes. Yes, 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 and yes. So, I am sure that I'm going to be working on plenty of these. And they also sent along 4 freebies. There is from Praiseworthy Stitches, a red tulip pattern. From October House Fiber Arts, Autumn Hill. Scissortail Designs, Merry Christmas 2022, or whatever year you choose to stitch it. And there's one more if I can get my hands to work. From Manidodona, Fall into Autumn Pillow. There's also a little notification in here, so go check out, let me get the name of the company again. Stacies Stitches. Excuse me while I lose my brain in front of you. Stacies Stitches Creative Studio. It'll all be down below. But there was this little notification in there that said, Beach Please, a cross-stitch retreat in 2024. It will be on Florida's Gulf Coast. So go check out Stacies Stitches. Maybe this is a retreat that you might want to go to. It's in Florida. I won't be getting there. There was other little goodies in here. But that was another one of my purchases. And like I said, I know I have something coming from Acorns and Threads. I just don't know what it is. Because I can't remember. Alrighty. So this last week, well, like I said, last Thursday, Queen Elizabeth passed away. 2 other things that I had to deal with on that day was waking up in the morning and having a notification on my phone that PGE, Portland General Electric, our electric company, might be doing rolling blackouts because of wildfires around Oregon. And I immediately thought to myself, no, please, no. 2 years ago was bad, and I just really, really didn't want to go through anything like that. The first thing I did is I looked outside to see if the skies were orange like they had been 2 years ago, and they were not. They were not. The next day I went to work, and in the parking lot of my store, they had completely blocked off 1 row of parking spaces so that PGE could set up a staging area there. On my way to the store, I passed 5 PGE trucks headed out of town. And like I said, they had a staging area set up there. But it was all because there was supposed to be some high winds this past weekend. And with the wildfires that are not close to Silverton, thank you, the possibility of a high windstorm coming through could have, but it didn't. So that was one of the things that I dealt with that Thursday morning. The other thing was I was sitting upstairs trying to work on finishing up some projects for my exchange with Melanie. And I felt and I heard this thump on the south side of the house. So I walked over to the window and I could see a wire hanging in front of the window that is not normally seen there. And I'm thinking, what's happened? So I went downstairs and I went outside and I couldn't figure out what I had heard on the south side of the house. And then I get a call from my daughter, and she said, but my daughter had told her work that she needed to come home because Queen Elizabeth had passed and her mom is British and she was in mourning. So my daughter left work to come over and visit with me. When she comes into the house, she goes, Mom, did you know that there is a wire laying on the road right in front of your house? And I'm like, that's what the thump was. The street I live on, semis are not supposed to use it because they knock down wires. This has happened 5 or 6 times in the 30 plus years that Mark and I have lived here. So I went in and I checked, and sure enough, I had no internet connection. I called our company and took forever to get through to a live person, but once I did, I said, okay, the wire was pulled down. I don't know if it's a live wire. I don't know what to do about it. I need to get service back, but mostly what do I do with this live wire, because this street has a lot of kids and school has just started, and there will be people walking up and down the street, and there will be animals running up and down the street, and there's a wire hanging in the road right in front of my house. So the first thing the cable guy offered was to have somebody come out to my house 2 weeks from now. No, that's not going to work. You need to send somebody out here because your wire is hanging in the road and needs to be moved. So then it was brought up to somebody might be out that evening or the next day. Fine. I get off the phone with the cable company. I called the non-emergency line here for Silverton Police. A few minutes later, I have a motorcycle officer in front of my house. I have a cruiser at the other end of the street, both with their lights flashing. And of course, the street I live on is not really busy, but it does get traffic. And people are trying to creep by the cruiser, so he just backs and moves his car so it's blocking the whole road. So now people are just stopping and getting out of the cars and looking down to see what's going on. It's what people do. So I'm explaining to the motorcycle officer what I think has happened. I think I know who the owner of the semi-truck was, but I don't know, so they can't go and say anything to them. Then the fire department shows up. Nobody has done anything yet about this wire laying in the road, which is a cable wire. It's not an electrical wire. But they decided that they were going to try to move it over to the opposite side of the road. So I offered to get them my rake because, one, it has a plastic handle and it has plastic tines, so it would not conduct any electricity if the young firemen opted to go get a wooden broomstick out of the back of their truck. And then I sat there and I watched 2 firefighters, 2 police officers, all trying to decide which one is going to move this cable. The one firefighter finally took it, not anywhere near the cut end, and put the broom handle on the outside of the wire and jerked it back, and the cable moved and nothing happened. So he did that 3 or 4 times. By now they have determined it is not an electrical wire. I told them it was the cable wire. Now they've decided that since they've got this long wire hanging from across the road, they wrap it up in a spool, in a circle on the ground, but there's still this big loop. So they decide, in order to take up this loop, they wrap it around the post that has the 3 mailboxes for my house, my neighbor across the street, and their neighbor next to them. And I looked at them and I said, you do realize that when my mailman comes by this afternoon and sees that you've got wire wrapped around that, he's going to think that we're trying to electrocute him. And they laughed. They all disperse. My daughter and I go in the house. A few minutes later, I see another big truck out there, and now I have PGE out there. And I told him, I said, it's the cable wire. And he goes, I know, but we're going to cut it down because they're going to make me come out here and cut it down no matter what. So they've now cut the wire that is the cable wire for my house. Whatever. Nobody came out that night. I told the people at my store, I said I might have to leave because I did get a call saying that they would be at my house Friday morning between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. I work 5 to 10:30 in the morning. And fortunately, I did not get a call from the cable company while I was at work. On the other hand, I walk in the house, I take my apron off, I take all my work stuff out of my pocket, I set my cell phone down on the kitchen table, I go to use the restroom, and I get the call from the cable company that they're going to be there in 15 minutes. Perfect timing! End result of the cable guy coming out here and me explaining to him that it was a semi that hit the wire and pulled it down. He did some measuring on how high our cable was, and he determined that it needed to be higher. So then I had to call my neighbor and ask if we could put a wire across their yard for a couple of weeks. So instead of having my cable wire at 14.5 feet off the ground, it's now at 18 feet off the ground. But even better than that, he told me that the cable company is going to come and put in underground wiring for me, something that should have been done years ago, and it's not going to cost me anything. They just have to wait for approval from the city. So, once again in Oregon, we're dealing with wildfires, nowhere near as badly as we were 2 years ago. I was a bit concerned this morning when I walked into the bathroom upstairs. We have a door that opens out to the upstairs deck. And my bathroom was filled with either fog or smoke. I walked in there and it didn't smell smoky, so it was fog. I don't think I've ever had fog in my house before. And that's when I discovered that I did something to my hand last night. It's feeling better, but this morning, like I said, I couldn't brush my teeth. I couldn't hold on to my toothbrush. I was also having a heck of a time putting my hair in a ponytail with my hand that just didn't want to do any movement like this. But none of that is important. Really, it's not important. So, at the very beginning of my video, I said this is my 5-year Flosstube anniversary, and I have also finally made it to 3,000 subscribers. Again, thank you very much. I would like to do a giveaway to say thank you for 5 years, for 3,000 subscribers. So when I was at First Thursday, I purchased a $50 gift card to Acorns and Threads. Comment on my video. Just comment on my video, and you will be entered into a drawing for a $50 gift card to Acorns and Threads. I don't mind having international people joining in on my giveaways, but I will not be paying shipping and handling. And I know Acorns and Threads won't be paying shipping and handling. So if you want to enter, you are more than welcome to. But I honestly think that it should be pretty much a US thing only. And I'm sorry about that. But postage is crazy right now, and there it goes. So please be publicly subscribed. Please be over the age of 18 so you can send me your address, because I do actually have the gift card here at my house and I will be mailing it to you. Please don't say giveaway. Please don't say winners or any of the things that's going to get the trolls coming in. And speaking of trolls on videos, I don't know what it is about my videos, but the past several, even my little 2-minute jeeping video, usually the first comment that's left on my videos is a link to porn somewhere. I report them. I remove them. I have noticed that occasionally they will comment on comments. So if you see something like that as a reply from me, please report it, and please delete it, and please do not answer it. None of us needs to deal with stuff like that. I think that that is everything that I have to share today. And I would like once again to end this video by saying thank you to Queen Elizabeth for the amazing, graceful life that she led in service to her country, to her realm. May she rest in peace. So long, everyone. Bye-bye.